everyone. I'm Don, the producer and senior investigator of Macomb Paranormal Investigations and Research, and I want to welcome you. In this episode, we're diving deep into one of Michigan's most chilling legends. And joining me today is our regular guest and our lead investigator, Jake, who has spent years researching and investigating paranormal phenomena in the field. Today's discussion takes us deep into the dark forest of Michigan, specifically the Manistee National Forest, where countless reports have surfaced of a mysterious creature known as the Michigan Dogman. This case, Jake has extensive first-hand experience investigating, and together with me, we will share some insights, encounters, and the history behind one of Michigan's most fascinating legends. So, without further ado, let's bring in Jake, and let's get started. Hey, Jake. We're going to do an introduction today to the Michigan Dogman. You ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, ready. You guys are good friends.
We're best of friends.
Best friends. Hey, tell us a little bit about your background. How long you been with the paranormal and what have you done?
Uh, so my start was kind of what people call urban exploring, in abandoned areas. And one abandoned place that I was very familiar with was the Traverse City State Hospital, which
Um,
has a lot of activity.
yeah,
And
unfortunately, they made that into a lot of restaurants and stuff now, I think.
yeah, turds.
Yeah,
Yeah, apartments,
yeah,
restaurants. Fancy stuff, yeah.
yeah.
But they still have the chapel open, they still have the tunnels open,
Ah,
and so it's still something to explore and look
okay.
at. Um, but I had something weird happen there that kind of got me really believing in the paranormal. My brother and we snuck in years and years ago when it was actually okay to do so. And we looked around for a while, didn't see anything other than like broken beer bottles and graffiti and stuff. And while we left through the front door of the chapel, well, not through the front door, but there's a window underneath the staircase
So you
that,
crawled out a window, the same window you crawled in.
yep. And above that is the staircase leading to the front door. So we walk up there just to look inside, even though we were just inside. And my brother knocks, and I don't know why he knocked. That's just a him thing to do.
Yeah.
Um, so we start walking away, and we hear something knock on the other side. Mind you, there's a big window with bars, that you can see everything through. You can see the ground and everything. So there was no one in there. We were just inside. And I'm looking at my brother. I'm like, no way. And he's like, $5 says it won't happen again. As soon as he said that, knock, knock, knock. And well, I was a bit creeped out. And he looks at me. He's like,
You got to be careful what you wish for in the paranormal.
so
Maybe
he
you're
says,
they're looking for ghosts. Come on, don't be surprised when you find one.
oh, I wasn't looking for ghosts that day. I was looking to explore.
Ah,
But he says, $10 says it won't happen again. We wait around. Nothing happens. He pulls out his wallet and he's got $7 in there. So
now
that
the question is, was it there when he started, or the ghost put it in?
it was there, but it didn't knock when he said $10.
I want to find that ghost if he's putting money in your wallet.
I want to. My brother's had some weird things happen, and he didn't put that $5 that he promised it to knock. He's had some weird things happen at his house.
Yeah, let's
But
see.
yeah, that got me into it, and ever since I've had some weird experiences.
Yeah, be careful; things follow you home,
Yeah, I think.
especially when you piss them off and don't give it what you promised.
Yeah, so the frightening things that have happened to me have happened at my brother's house, and I think it still follows him to this day.
Yeah, that happened to my son. My son was a cop also. And just a quick story, we're going to digress a little bit, but we had an apartment building people kept committing suicide in all the time. And it was definitely something demonic in that apartment building. And being a cop, let's face it, you see a lot of nasty things, and the guy hanging there doesn't really spook you out too much. But with my son, I mean, I was in that. I've been in that building. The same thing as what he was. It kind of bordered our two precincts, and he walked in there and he saw a shadow figure out of the corner of his eye, and it followed him home. Definitely followed him home, and he finally got to talk to a friend of ours that's a priest. In fact, I got a cousin that's a bishop also, but he's my go-to bishop if I need something. But my son had a friend that was a priest, and he talked to the priest. The priest said, "You just got to stand up to it. Tell him you don't have permission to be there and to leave." And it did in the end. Didn't have a problem after that, but goes to show you got to be careful. Things will follow you home if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, where else have you investigated at?
So after that, I've investigated the state hospital a few times in Traverse City. Then most of my exploring was in the Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania area.
That's where we're
Um,
gonna go. We got to make a
yeah,
road trip up there.
yeah. I went to Crescent Sanatorium, and that was incredible. It was a medium security prison, also a psych ward and tuberculosis center. I think over 10,000 people have died there.
What?
Um, so we had some pretty crazy things happen there. Then we went to this place called Gallitzin. It's an old firehouse in Pennsylvania. That one was, the tunnels were really creepy. Um, and then the cabin on 360, we were using a spirit box and it said my last name clear as day, and half of my good friends can't pronounce my last name properly.
I still
So that
can't.
was yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky one and clear as day it said it. And then my buddy Justin and we went on this haunted vacation. We went to Lake Shawnee amusement park. That's supposed to be one of the most haunted places in America.
Yep.
I have my own complaints about that place. We went to Centralia, Pennsylvania, the town that caught on fire in the 60s and is still burning to this day.
All right.
Um, Nothing happened there either.
We
Um,
we talked about, we have talked about that in the past. I mean, I put that in our introductory video or our introductory podcast. I mean, some of these TV shows on the paranormal, uh, they're true. I mean, a lot of them aren't fake. They don't fake anything. But the problem is they spend sometimes a week on these sites, and it takes them a week to get enough paranormal and stuff going, activity going to edit out and get an hour show. That's going to be pretty boring, to watch a paranormal show and not have any paranormal activity. And like I said, it takes them a week sometimes to get that. So not surprising you don't get it all the time. I mean,
yeah, we did have one weird thing happen that I still have no idea what it was to this day. One of our last nights that we were out camping, we ended up, because we camped in these areas. Uh, One of the last places that we camped was an abandoned campground in the George Washington National Forest, just border West Virginia and Virginia.
mhm.
So when we first got there, it was a complete dead zone, no cell service or anything, and we had one of the like smart rental cars where it'll play Bluetooth on your phone from like 200 yards away. But my phone didn't have service, so we went 15 minutes without any music or anything. Uh, so we're setting up the hammocks and we turned the car off. We just left the headlights on to
Mhm.
shine so we could set up the hammocks. So the car is completely off. We have the key in our pocket and the radio comes on to the last song I was listening to before we lost service, but the car is off. So that was weird. And then later that night, it had a pond like a couple hundred yards back into the woods. We were fishing, and the best way I can describe it is something came right up above our heads, and it sounded like when Pac-Man dies, like woo 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 woo, went right over our heads. I could feel my hair move, and I have never heard anything like that. I'm an outdoorsman, so
If you were in New Jersey, I'd say it was the Mothman.
Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil. Yeah, Jersey Devil. Or the Mothman. I forget where the Mothman was at. Yeah, yeah.
Mothman is
He's
pretty much anywhere where there's a disaster, but it's
yeah, yeah.
mostly
But
Virginia area.
Jersey Devil is what I was thinking of.
Yeah, I had someone say that it was a banshee.
Yeah, good old Ireland.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what to make of it, but it sounded exactly like when Pac-Man dies.
Ah, well, you didn't die. You hear a
I
banshee,
didn't.
it usually means you're gonna die.
Yeah,
We,
I'm
we got
good.
a we got a video. We got a YouTube video on the banshee.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's on there. You have to watch that one if you haven't watched that one yet. I produced that one a few months back, I guess. So you grew up in the Cadillac area.
I did.
Ah, Manistee National Forest. That's where you had your encounter with your good buddy there.
I had my encounter in Hoxeyville, which is only like 10 minutes from Cadillac,
Okay.
but all Wexford County, that's where the legend
Yeah.
starts,
The
which,
dog man.
yeah, I don't think it's a legend. It's not.
There's
Um,
something to it. You know, when so many, it's like Bigfoot or anything else, when so many people see something, they have the same description of everything, there's got to be something to it somewhere.
so some some people would argue and say it's called a tulpa. So many people believing in one thing makes it come into reality. And I don't know. It was something weird. You want to
Well,
hear the
you,
story?
yeah, you ran into it. Like I said, you're good friends with the dog man. I want to hear all about it.
I okay. So my brothers were playing a football game in later October, and this is northern Michigan. We had fresh snow on the ground. It was a clear, cold night, like but probably low 20s. Um, and I hadn't shut up for weeks about live trapping animals. So I got to have my friend come over after my brother's football game because they were going to their friend's house to have a party or whatever. So he came over and he wanted to see my traps to see if we had like a fox or a raccoon or something. So I said, okay. It was about midnight, somewhere around there. It was dark. But we took a flashlight, a BB gun, and a pocket knife. Gotta stay protected. Um,
With a BB gun.
yeah, we have a lot of coyotes in the area. You gotta shoot them in the butt and scare them off. Um, so the way I had my trap set up is I think I had three or four traps all together, and we had this row of pine trees. I'm talking with my hands, I always do,
That's okay.
but
That's okay.
um, so we had a row of pine trees going all the way back for about 400 yards. And then at the back of it was this junkyard, but the row of trees went miles. So that was where our property ended. I would set my traps like right at the tree line so that any forest animals would come out and go into the trap. My last one was by the junkyard. So we checked the first couple of traps and had nothing. So we get almost all the way to the last trap. And my buddy, he's a chicken. Like every single noise we heard, he was like, "Oh, shine the light, shine the light, shine the light." And I'm like, "I know." And when we almost got to the last trap where we could see where the trap was, um,
That the one by the
enough.
junkyard?
Yep, yep. Um, we saw, or I heard this branch snap. So I start shining the light, and my buddy starts screaming to shine the light. I'm like, I know. So what I see is like these amber eyes about stomach level on me, but they're 20-ish yards away. So I can see the silhouette. Um, the moon's out. It's a clear night, so I can see these amber eyes and this silhouette that at first I thought was a bear because of how big it was. But even a bear on all fours wouldn't be stomach or rib level, and this thing was.
Was this near
Um,
the junkyard?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
near the junkyard. It was in the tree line. Um, so it comes out of the trees. It's walking kind of towards me, and people have fight or flight. I have freeze. Um, so I'm just standing there stupid with the flashlight pointed right at this thing. And it came out far enough to where you could tell it was out of the woods, um, out of the pine trees, and it stands up. I'm 6'4". This thing was
Yeah, you're
well
a big
over my
guy.
head. Yeah, it was at least a whole nother head above me. At that point, I unfroze and I kind of look at my buddy to see what we should do. And he's all ass and elbows, like halfway back
Yeah,
to my house.
he was a smart one.
He was, but I caught him real quick. And then in the morning, we went out there with my mom's digital camera and we went to where we saw it because we weren't going back out there that night. So we went out in the morning and we found dog tracks that were the size of my hand, which I got big hands. Dogs don't have paws
No,
that big.
no. And you can definitely tell the difference between a bear and a dog canine print. I
Yep,
mean,
they
the
got
bear
the
is going
extra pad.
they got the extra pad, and you also on a bear, you're going to see the big claw marks on it too.
Hmm.
And I mean, a dog doesn't have those big claws like a bear does.
Yeah, and bears are a lot wider than they
Right,
are
right,
long.
right.
Yeah. So I know it was a dog track. It was probably,
That's that's
yeah.
huge.
Yeah,
That's huge.
I have a picture of my hand sitting right next to it, and it was, I think the claws were a little bit longer than my hand.
Oh, you should have bought that picture. I guess you guys show that to me sometime.
Once my mom finds her camera, I will gladly. I'm planning on printing
That's
it off.
that's that's something. Our timer just came up for 10 minutes. Did you see that?
Mine came up for 7 minutes now.
7. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on a bit. What kind of animal do you think that is? You think it's
Uh,
paranormal? You think it's a cryptid? You think it's something that we just haven't discovered yet? See, we can tie that up in these 7 minutes here.
so I'll try to be quick. My thoughts is there's been records of werewolves for
Oh yeah.
hundreds, if not thousands of years. Like way back when I think the 13 or 1400s, there was the Beast of Gévaudan, and this entire village saw this werewolf type creature and it killed a couple of the residents. Then you have the Beast of Bray Road,
All right.
um, another werewolf type.
Mm-hmm.
And then, since the 1800s, people have been seeing the Dogman, whether it be some sort of extra dimensional cryptid or something. I think it is a physical flesh and bone animal.
You think it's a skinwalker of some type?
So there's a lot of theories on it being a skinwalker, and like that's another one that's gone back thousands of years with
Yeah.
Native Americans. They'll say skinwalkers will turn into dogs that walk upright. I mean, even Egypt, you have like Anubis, and
Right.
yeah, that
And the,
was
the
big.
in the pyramid, some of the paintings in the pyramids show.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Walking
Right.
dogs, bipedal dogs.
Yep.
Uh, so whatever it is, it's been around for a long time, and I
Well, the
think it's a lot.
Native Americans seem to think that a lot has to do with the change. They're doing a lot of cutting of the trees and whatever in the Manistee National Forest, especially. And
Mm-hmm. Oh
they
yeah.
say it seems to appear. And then there's also every 10 years, like, a year ending in seven for some reason. I'm not sure what the seven has to do with it, but if that's the case, we got some stuff coming up in 2027.
Yeah, that's 1 year.
You want
You
to go out to the
got
Manistee National Forest and go exploring again?
I lived through it once.
You want to press your luck?
Well, I'm older now. I can carry something bigger than a BB gun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I'm a retired cop. I always do. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I know if I'm not packing heat, you are.
yep. So okay, Jake, that's pretty cool. I think we covered a lot of it. What we can do if you want to, we're running on short on time on this on a recording time here. We'll change it. Maybe we can make a part two. And we can carry it on. We can get in a little bit more deeper on this stuff, and we'll have a part two on this podcast.
I have a lot to say.
I know it's interesting. I mean, you know a lot more about the Dogman than I do. So, like I said, you're close friends.
We are. We've almost shook hands.
Yeah, that's too close. That's definitely too close. All right, buddy. You don't live that far. You need to come on back over, and we got some stuff planned in the future here, real close future, come May 8th. That's going to be fun.
Yep.
Take the
Yep.
rest of the crew down to Mortuary Manor.
Yeah, I
And
already
that's
got the time off.
oh, that's yeah, that's cool. Then we'll make some plans on going to West Virginia too. West Virginia or Virginia? Where's your brother
Uh,
at?
my brother's in Virginia, but he's pretty close to the border. Crescent's in West Virginia.
Okay, yeah. Go do some investigations in there, and then maybe take a detour coming back around. Maybe stop at Gettysburg.
And maybe we can stop at the Mothman statue.
Yeah, be cool.
It's in West Virginia.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I want to meet these things in person, face to face. I
The
might be like
statue.
your friend, assholes and elbows out of there. I don't know if I can
Yeah.
run that fast. So I'm getting old. I'm older than you guys, so I don't know if I can
So,
run that fast
so
anymore.
all I need to do is outrun you then.
That won't be hard. All right, buddy. Let's wrap this one up, and maybe we'll make a part two and talk a little bit more about it.
Sounds good.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Yep.
All
Bye.
right.